Welcome back. All right. On Monday, the 31st of March, 2014, a federal high court in Abuja declared unconstitutional the defection of 42 members of the House of Representatives from PDP to APC, and they did not comply with the provision of the Section 68(1)(g) of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The court advised them to resign, honourably, because the defection was illegal and they would not validly function as members of the House. What are your thoughts on this? Is there really freedom of choice? It's your view, let it count. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at YourViewTVC. So, I know it's all over the papers and all the reports are in the papers. So, I think we've seen all the various arguments from the PDP section and the APC section and even the House of Reps, the people who defected. We've seen the argument, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
As layman, as basic as layman and as basic as I can be, I feel that the judgment was being favorable to some people as opposed to the others. Layman as basic, he's not talking out of information, just talking as a person that just feels that these people have a right to associate and they have the right to say, no, we don't want to be in this party, we want to be in another party. As basic as that, I feel that it is being selective in implementation.
I
know that the lawyers or the legal people can say, oh, the law says that if you have defected, your place can be declared vacant and all that. No, but I feel that the people voted them in.
No, that's even the different issue to talk about. The issue that was on ground discussed yesterday was the fact that, first of all, the case that was before this judge was, can these people actually vote to change the leadership of the House? Not if their seats should be vacant, to be declared vacant, or they can be, was it illegal for them to...
We are not aware that they brought a counter application to declare their seats vacant.
Sorry?
You know, when APC went to court to ask whether they had rights to, change the leadership of the House, PDP did not, I'm not aware whether they brought a counter action to, in the same case, whether to declare their seats vacant. Now, what is clear is that APC went to court to ask whether they could declare the change the leadership of the House as regards.
Is it APC or PDP? I think it's PDP
that took the action to court.
Because I know there's a case going on simultaneously.
Yeah,
the same federal high court.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was the APC chieftain that was saying that he said he had two questions. He said the question whether the House of Representatives should vacate their seat was not a question before this justice.
Yes.
It was I think Mohammed, I think, and he said that it was highly unprofessional and unethical for one judge to deliver into a matter that is subject to this in another court.
Because your job was really to rule on the fact that can they change leadership or not. And after he did that job, he now said,
is he allowed
they should actually vacate their seats honorably.
Like, is a judge allowed to give opinions on the case?
Yes, they call it obiter. A judge is allowed to give his opinion, and that opinion is not binding at all.
Okay.
So for the press to now quote it out of context and say that he advised them. Okay. So that was where we have to be careful. If it is an obiter, then there's no problem.
Okay.
But if it is part of the
it's possible the press just dwelled on that and made it look as if that's the pronouncement from the court.
Well, my own opinion, another part that I feel is that we voted them in. We didn't vote for the party particularly. They were coming from that party, but I voted for the person. Really? I voted for a particular... In most cases...
For House of Reps?
House of Rep, being honest...
You vote for the party, really?
Being honest, I vote for... the people I voted for might not in actual fact have gotten in because I did not vote for some of the people that were there. But those that I voted for, I'm voting for the person that I feel can carry on. Because you didn't vote for some people, I didn't vote for some people that I feel that the party might be good, but the person is not good. So if I voted for a particular, let me say I voted for Mr. Frank. Okay. He was under PDP, and he's been a very active person under PDP, and he moved to APC. You now declare his seat vacant because he moved. The fact that I voted for him does not count anymore. I voted for him.
Okay, well that's
he's representing me
in defense of the people.
Yeah.
And there's also an argument in defense of the reps themselves that don't they have a right to say, I'm done with this party, I want to move to another party. That's another issue, that the fundamental rights to choose.
They made this law. They amended the constitution and created this avenue for them. But I'm sure when they were doing it, they thought it was going to always work in their favor. That's why when they make a law, they have to be careful. That section now is saying the rule itself is that do not defect to another party or you lose your seat.
When did they bring the rule?
It was an amendment to the 1999 Constitution.
Was it like stated like that?
Clearly, literally, that's what the court is following. If the court was interpreting it, it would be clear.
I don't think so, Nima, because if that ruling, if that the law was there, I don't think these people would...
There's an exception to it. The exception now is if there's a division in your party or another faction has, you know,
yes,
left that party.
Okay, that's the one I know. The one I know is that there's division in the party, but you see, how do we define what division is?
That is where the case of Baraje and Tukur comes in. When brought his own PDP faction, there was a division, and that was when most of these people defected. And then there was a court action that said there was no other PDP faction. What I would have thought Baraje, they would have appealed. No matter how long an appeal takes, it means that there's...
Do you know if there's an appeal?
Well, what makes you
I'm
feel
not sure
that
there's
it is
an
not
appeal.
as a result of the offshoot of what happened from the defected governors that is now elongating to this section of the House? So why are they saying that there's still no division? There's obviously there's division in the party, and they have every right to decide to defect.
No division, then they do not have a right to defect. What I'm saying is that for a judge cannot grant a relief not sought in his court.
Okay, so they didn't ask for that area. They didn't ask
his obiter was almost sounding like a judgment because it felt like it sounded like it was, you know, tilting to a particular side. The facts are clear.
Partial.
It was sounding. I'm not.
But now the APC actually have asked the Chief Justice to sanction him because he was totally out of line, and especially because the matter which he's commenting on is in court, and the same Federal High Court by another judge. And that is not, according to the report I read, it's not yet ripe for judgment for you to not start saying, oh, they should resign.
Yeah, because it's still being litigated in another court. So you don't have the right to just open your mouth and say, you know, what is not obtainable. But I feel that... Let
me take this call. Mrs. Amadi, good morning, madam.
Good morning, please. I think Nigerians should not be deceived by APC, PDP saga. It's just one party system they are running, right? Because the people in the APC, they were able to collect awards from PDP, from the government of Jonathan. At the same time, they are able not to take the PDP to court over defection from their party. And now they are taking PDP to court over people who are coming from PDP to APC. It doesn't make sense. They are only trying to deceive one person. Nigerians, it is very, very wrong. So Nigerians should not be deceived.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amadi. Appreciate your call.
But Jamia Mila said something. He said that no one can be compelled by law to stay in association against his or her wishes. It negates the fundamental right of association, and every citizen has that is inalienable. That is in Section 68 of the Constitution as amended. So for me, these people know the law. They make the law. They should be inside it. If for any reason they are against the law, they would already know that the campaign move would put them in jeopardy. Because I know that as much as they are fighting for us as a people, they also want to remain in power. We all know politics is juicy. That position is powerful for them. They don't want to lose their income. That's all they do.
Whereby they are playing politics with the law. You know, these people have lawyers who advise them. They see.
I said it now yesterday.
So,
and they have.
If my lawyer is better than your lawyer,
okay. I have Adewale's call. Good morning, Adewale. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Good morning, Morayo.
Thanks. Go ahead.
And good morning, Yabiji, and Uwa Nima.
Good morning.
I think about the defection. I think the APC and PDP, they are not doing themselves a good. And the court said there is a party that the people vote for. If it is the party that we vote for, that means there's no need to fit any candidate in the election.
Thank you.
Let's just vote for party. After then, the party now know who they want to become a House of Rep, become a governor. We don't need that. If someone is not happy in another party, let him go to whether he find his love. Do we need a pastor, a alpha, or a miracle son to tell us that there is a division in PDP? We all know. The division is there. 5 governors, the division is there. 37 lawmakers, the division is there.
Thank you so much, Adewale.
The division is there. What are we talking about?
We need to talk about this division matter because I was saying that, you see, that law, because I read that law, and it's saying that the only way they can be permitted to vacate their seats is if there's a division. Now, my issue is, how do we define what division is? Is it when there's a total split or where there's a faction created? Maybe there's this new PDP. Now, if the new PDP exists, then we can say a division.
It existed at the time of defection.
No. The court said it was illegal. The new PDP.
The court declared it illegal did not mean it did not exist.
But let me say, but you know as a lawyer that whatever the court says, the court does not deal with inferences. The court wouldn't say, oh, this is what is obtainable. The court will deal with what you can prove, the fact you put on the table. And if one on the table says that the party says we're not divided, the people have left us, but we're not divided, we don't acknowledge them, then that's what the court will take up.
Okay.
I understand.
That law says,
is a fact.
if
a
faction, let me see if I can still access the law, that if the division is by a faction from that particular party, Paraje is a known member of PDP.
Yes.
They divided and they created another
PDP.
the new PDP. A clear faction from PDP.
Yes.
Then there's a division.
Wait, so if that division existed, then the House of Reps the members of the House can actually move.
Yes,
but because the court has said that the new PDP does not exist,
illegal.
was illegal.
But that doesn't mean
that they don't exist.
That doesn't mean that there was no defection.
But there was a point that they were limited.
I have a call. Good morning. I think I have another call. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Ayeni, thanks for calling.
Yeah, it's Ayeni calling from Surulere. Yeah, I think what is really happening presently, I don't know, because when others are moving from other parties to PDP, there was no row there, nobody raised any. But moving from PDP in mass to other parties now, we have all the Antinana says Baraji should have, countered that judgment in October. He can't do that because they have already moved to APC, before that judgment came about in October. So there's no need for appealing that judgment because it's already moved. So I don't think.
Thank you very much, Ayeni. Appreciate it.
There's something I wanted to even say. You see, when today you see them, they move to APC, and tomorrow they tell you that, oh no, they never left PDP, and they go back. Example is that I think the Kano man now, the former governor of Kano State. So when we see these kind of things, it tells us as Nigerians, like, wait, are we really serious or we are joking? Because today you say you have defected, and tomorrow you say that when
the House of Reps is slightly different because this is where they get to vote and they need to debate on issues.
That is why the PDP is seriously fighting them, because if 42 people defect to APC,
it can sway major votes.
It's a lot of,
what I would like to say, which Adewale mentioned, which is very, very important, is that if it is just the party we're voting for, then the party need not field any candidate to the first. We were not actually voting for the party, we're voting for the person they field, the individual that was put in front for us. So if the individual we voted for decide to move somewhere else, then we follow him there, which is why whenever there's a people are decamping, there's a lot of people coming, showing that, we support this man.
Good morning, Steve.
Yeah, good morning. This is speaking from Korodu. The view is very clear that we voted for individuals. Good. But the individuals, they are coming with a flag of a party. The political party figured them. And as a result, they ought to remain that party. As far as the law is concerned, if they are leaving that political party, they ought to resign their appointment and reserve their seat, resign, and then move to that party if they are sincere with themselves. The law is very clear. Okay, they say, okay, there was a division. Okay, where is the division? Is it people that say that there was a division? It is that they just masquerade that division and then decap to another party. Okay, where is the division?
Thank you so much, Stephen. Unfortunately, we can't take some tweets. We're having some internet issues, but maybe we'll take tweets later.
Sorry, when they were also voted in to the House, who funded those elections?
The party.
Do you understand?
The party doesn't fund elections. What are you saying?
Okay.
What are you saying? The parties don't. They bring in money. The party doesn't fund. The party gives you platform and uses their political clout that we have followership, but they don't fund. The elections are usually funded by individual. If you don't have money, you cannot run an election. That's the fact. Let's know why are we talking like this now.
Okay. Let's not go into that. We have some tweets from
yes. Mildred Ezike 11 says, I don't understand why a judge should give directive to a decision of millions of people. The judge should know better. Francesca says that they weren't independent candidates. They came under the party. They should vacate their seats. Olokobi Abiodun says, our leaders handle issues like the seats they occupy is their father's throne. They are better things people should face.
Okay. All right. On that note, we need to end the segment. Moving on, NNPC's missing funds and its implications on the next economy. On the economy and next economy. Stay with us. We'll be right back.